What do you do when everything seems lost? When life gives you no hope, do you quit or fight back? This is the inspiring story of Milan, a man who lost it all but found a way to win it all. In a small, forgotten village surrounded by fields of dust and silence, lived a man named Milan. He was a simple farmer, known by no one beyond his muddy trails, but within him lived a fire that not even the harshest storms could extinguish. Milan's life was not made of comfort. He had inherited a few acres of dry, cracked land and a broken hut that barely kept out the wind. With every failed crop, the debt grew heavier. His neighbors laughed, some pitied him, but most simply ignored his quiet struggle. And every time Milan struggled, the villagers mocked him from a distance. They thought he was a lost cause. But Milan didn't care. He kept working silently, knowing that the only way out was to keep going, no matter how many times he fell. Then came the worst year of all, when the skies forgot to rain. The land became barren. The crops died before they could grow. Milan tried to survive, selling whatever he had left, but it wasn't enough. But Milan's struggles didn't stop there. His wife fell gravely ill. Without money for medicine or a doctor, she passed away quietly one night, leaving Milan with 2 young children and a heart full of unanswered prayers. The next day, Milan made a decision. He would not give up. He sold his last goat and rented a small patch of land outside the village. Every morning, before the sun rose, Milan walked miles to reach that land. Milan didn't work alone for long. He taught his children to help him, teaching them the value of hard work and resilience. Together, they planted seeds and worked the soil, not as a broken family, but as a team determined to rise. In his quest for knowledge, Milan traveled to the nearby city and attended farming workshops. He learned new techniques, ways to conserve water, grow better crops, and feed his family. He knew that education was the key to his survival. When Milan returned, he implemented what he had learned. He installed a drip irrigation system, transforming his barren land into a fertile garden. The villagers laughed, mocking him. But Milan was determined to show them all what hard work and knowledge could achieve. Season after season, Milan's crops flourished. While others lost their harvests, Milan's spinach and tomatoes grew healthy and fresh. He began to make a name for himself, not as a poor farmer, but as a man who had turned failure into success. Milan took his crops to the market and sold them at fair prices. The town people, once doubtful, began to take notice. They saw the hard work and integrity Milan brought to his business. Slowly, the respect started to grow. With the money he earned, Milan bought school shoes for his children. They wore their uniforms with pride. For the first time in years, Milan could smile, not from luck, but from the peace of knowing he had done it on his own. Years passed. Milan didn't just stop with his success. He invested back into the community. He built a learning center for the children of his village so that they wouldn't have to struggle as he did. The same villagers who once mocked him now respected him. They called him Master G and sought his advice. Milan had turned the tide not just for himself, but for the entire village. Every evening, Milan would sit outside his hut, sipping tea, watching his children play. His field was green, his heart was full, and he had done what no one thought was possible. As Milan stood watching the sunset over his field, he realized the truth. They said I had lost everything, but they were wrong. I gained more than I ever dreamed. If Milan's story inspired you, take a moment to reflect on your own challenges and how you can rise above them. Remember, it's never too late to begin again.